One of the important things to remember that a domain is one thing. The other thing you need to consider about on this whole journey is the hosting, right? So you buy the address, but then you still need to obviously buy the land that your website's going to sit on, hypothetically, from a using a housing example. But essentially, someone needs to host this website. So for example, your website's going to have pictures, it's going to have links, it's going to have words. All of those things take up space. Someone needs to have that stored somewhere on the server, so when you go searching, or anyone goes online searching for your blog, that then needs to be surfaced to them, so that they can actually read what you're putting out there, right? So someone needs to store all that data for you, and that's where the hosting part comes in, right? So those are two different costs. So buying the rights to the domain is 90 rand, but then hosting it and keeping it live is basically then that you have to pay a monthly fee. But we can quickly just jump into that. So for example, here we see that our total due is 90 rand, and that's just purely for the domain. Now, this is where things get interesting. I'd like to quickly start talking about, different ways that we can actually host our blog. I, for one, am a huge fan of WordPress, and you can see a lot of these suppliers do have a WordPress option, because a lot of the times, when people come to set up their websites, they're always going for a WordPress, because WordPress just works really, really well. It's an open source platform that really gives you a lot more freedom to do a lot more things, right? For example, versus using other pre-built blogging platforms, right? For example, if we come here and we type in blogging platforms, just to give you an idea of the other platforms that are out there. So if I type in blogging platforms there, let's use TechRadar, they're pretty good. So for example, here you're going to have, it's unfortunate, it's a bit, there we go. So for example, Wix is one of them, you have Blogger, which is another, you have obviously the best blogging platform out there being WordPress, as I mentioned before. It just gives you a lot more freedom in terms of customizing your website to your liking. You have Blogger as a platform, Wix as a platform, Jackie 2, I guess, as a platform, Tumblr as a platform, Typepad as a platform, and there's a whole bunch of these, right? But what's the main difference between all of those platforms and WordPress, right? So, for example, with WordPress, you basically own the website. It's open source, right? So you own the website full out. It's yours. As long as you keep paying for your hosting and your domains, it's yours. You control who comes in, you control who goes out. The back end is fully yours, right? It's hosted according to your rules. You own the cPanel rights. Everything is yours, right? That website is yours to run. Versus other, for example, blogging platforms where, for example, if let's go to Tumblr, because I've actually, so if I go to Tumblr, right, think of it this way. This is a website owned by other people. So all you can do is basically use their interface to basically build your blog on top of, right? So for example, if you come, if there's a scenario one day where Tumblr decides, you know what, I'm done with this, blogging business. I really don't think there's any more money. We're closing down Tumblr. That means all of your content, all the hard work that you've worked, that you've done over the years, disappears with it, right? Because that platform is gone. That is never the case with WordPress. That website will never disappear till the day you wake up one morning and decide that you want to get rid of it. You have full control of what happens to that website. And that's why I always recommend to people that you want to go for WordPress, right? So, luckily as well, Domains does have various WordPress packages that you can use. So, basically, for 100 rand a month, literally, that's all it's going to cost you, 100 rand a month. You get the option to create two WordPress websites. So if you do want to create two blogs, you get up to 100 email accounts. What does that mean, though, right? So it means, for example, if we have iStogs as our domain, that means I can have emails that say, for example, John at iStogs.co.za, because we're buying a .co.za domain, right? So it'll be, you can have info at iStogs.co.za. You can have sales at iStogs.co.za. So it just makes it look a lot more professional when you're engaging with your customers. For example, if you have a store or if people have queries for marketing on your website, that's a very nice way to keep it professional. Free SSL certificates are mostly just security, ensuring that your website is secure and information and all of that stuff. A free site migration. So if you already have a blog sitting elsewhere or a website sitting elsewhere, they can go through the process of migrating all that information over to domains and moving your blog over, sorry, your domain over as well to domains.co.za if that is what you want. And it also comes with a very well put together WordPress toolkit that you can use if you want to, but that's up to you. So you can click on buy now. And the great thing about buying a WordPress package is that then your domain is absolutely free. Over here as well, you get the option to say, yes, please install WordPress for me on my domain, and they'll go through the process of actually installing WordPress for you, which is great. So if you do have the desire, obviously, to have a store as well, you can also request that they put WooCommerce. Now, WooCommerce is like a WordPress plugin. And essentially, what it just allows you to do, it just basically sets up a shop for you on your website. So when you open the backend, which I'll show you guys just now, you actually have the option to add products and sell stuff to whoever it is that you want to sell to. And as you can see here, it has your domain already lined up. You click on use, and boom, that is your final invoice right there. I mean, you're more than welcome to go through all of this and see, if you want to add any of this. Your domain is yours for a year. If you do not renew it, obviously it will go back onto the market and someone can come and buy it from under you. So just want to make sure that that is renewed regularly. But luckily they do have options for you, obviously, to put it on a recurring approach. Then you don't have to worry about that. So your summary will be probably 148 rand. Now, why 148 rand if I'm only paying 100 rand for the package and the domain is free? Well, you have to understand that at the moment, as I'm making this course, it is currently what is it? It is currently the 20th of June, 2023. So that means there's a pro rata amount that's going to be required to be able to obviously. So basically, they're charging you for the few days of June that you're going to get as part of that 109 rand. So basically, this is a monthly cost. And for the remainder of this month, that's the amount that you need to pay to cover. Because if I buy it now, that means I'm getting at least what, 10 days, 10 to, yeah, about 10 to 12 days worth of access to that website that someone needs to pay for. So that's what that pro rata is there. And that's why it's pushing this up there. So if you want this to come down to exactly 109, then just wait till the first of the month when your initial charge needs to go off, and it'll be exactly 109 rand. But obviously that's up to you, and obviously they add your VAT over there. And if you do have any promo codes from anywhere else, you're more than welcome to put that in. And once you're satisfied and you're good to go, you can check out your domain, and boom. I'm currently not logged in at the moment, so I can't really check it out. So once you're done, we'll see you on the other side.